From Wall Street to Main Street, this is LALATE.
It's a big evening of Evenings LALATE, direct from Santa Monica, California, after that world exclusive was delivered on LA news site last night. As Democratic leaders, their staffers tell viewers of this channel exclusively that they're near finish on the inclusion of a stimulus check in the forced stimulus recon. Those negotiations near complete. That'll be monthly checks, and that they'll run $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000 and running for 6 months. The other world exclusives delivered in that report were that individuals 17 to newborn would not get this check because they're going to get the CTC check. I'm going to go over that in this video. And that Pelosi negotiated for a bigger payout of $1,400 a month, and so did Warren, but they couldn't get it. That means that this is deliciousness. This is the result of people pushing from this channel. In the second half, then in this video, we'll also be going over the first 645 pages of that reconciliation budget bill. Checks for seniors, checks for workers, checks for hazard pay. We'll be cutting to cluster number 2 that has up to $1,700 a week, and then cluster number 3, checks for cheaper prescription medication and checks for internet. We'll be going over other things that you've been asking about, like the debt ceiling limit, how that impacts you or doesn't impact you. We'll be cutting back to Washington and what's happening with the big exciting details as an additional $13 billion coming out to your cities, counties, and states for rent. Wow, it's a huge night with the world exclusive being made right here, the history being made right here. Let's get to all the deliciousness. It starts right now as Evenings LALATE begins tonight. Good evening, everybody. I hope you're having a beautiful evening across the globe, wherever you're tuning in from. I hope you saw the world exclusive article in LA, the news website, last night, now in its second and third decade of existence. The report detailed that the Democrats are near finalization of the inclusion of a stimulus check provision in the reconciliation budget bill. The negotiations are near complete. That it will be monthly checks, the staffers tell viewers of this channel. And the staffers tell viewers of this channel, including Pelosi staff, that it will be $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000 running for 6 months. The article goes on to explain that staffers had tried to get $1,400 a month, couldn't get it, and tried to get it for 12 months, couldn't get it as well. It also details that individuals who are newborn to up to 17 of age won't get a check because they're getting the CTC check. I'll explain that in this video. We'll be going to cluster number 1, the first 645 pages of that reconciliation budget bill released. Checks for everything except that electric surfboard. Yeah, I was wishing for that electric surfboard. We'll go to cluster number 2 that has a deliciousness in there, including that free community college class to teach you how to listen to what I'm saying. Because people don't listen. No, just kidding. And then we go to cluster number 3, where it gives you cheaper prescription medication, because I'm going to need a Tylenol by the end of this video. No, just kidding. And there we go. But then we got the big exciting details as an additional $13 billion coming out to your cities, counties, and states from third stimulus, and then details which viewers have said have been very helpful for them about the debt ceiling limit. I'll explain all that later in this video. It's a big night because it's a big day, and I'm excited you're here, so subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, this is where you want to be. This channel was the channel that made history in 2020. It was my idea to insert a stimulus check into the continuing resolution budget bill of 2020, which ultimately resulted in Americans getting a second stimulus check. Tonight, history is on the cusp of being made again, as viewers of this channel have been advocating based upon my guidance and my instructions and my information to get a monthly stimulus check in that reconciliation budget bill. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers, a YouTube record in 1 year. Next stop, 1 million. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Calcino VIP. Let's get right into that world exclusive. The world exclusive was the second of 2 world exclusives on this channel delivered on LALATE and the news site, which has been in existence for nearly more than 2 decades. It detailed that staffers from congressional leaders on both the House and Senate side tell countless viewers of this channel that negotiations are near complete on the inclusion of a monthly stimulus check, and that check would run $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000 running for 6 months. That Pelosi and Schumer's and other people had argued for a bigger check but couldn't get it. That reportedly Pelosi wanted $1,400 a month, couldn't get it, wanted 12 months, couldn't get it. Warren wanted it as well, but they settled on that. Moreover, if you're 17 to newborn, there would be no check for you because you're getting the CTC check, which is covered later in this video, up to $3,600 for you already. Let's go over how we got here. We got here because of the advocacy of this channel. It was months ago where people said, not going to happen. You're not going to get anything. Stop picking up the phone. Don't call anyone. I said, zone it out. Zone out the fake narrative. Turn off the comments. Focus on what we got to do. And the focus started when I said, pick up the phone and advocate. WR did. He picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's old confidant, advocate for a stimulus check. And the staffer said, yes, he's doing it. Monthly stimulus check. World exclusive. And yet some people said it's just one office. It changed then 3 weeks ago as Bernie Sanders' office had him come out and say very vocally that, unlike prior budget chairman, I like to hear from you. And I said, pick up the phone and advocate. Brother Joshua did, Lynn Glenn, and Margaret did. And Brother Joshua really advocated like you never saw advocacy. Called up the phone and said, I need a stimulus check for my church, my family, and my family. And the Senator Sanders' office saying, yes. He's inserting a stimulus check provision monthly, $1,000 or $1,400, 3 to 6 months. And yet, Sanders' office said he needs your support. But some people still said it's just one office. It's just Bernie. It's just Bernie. Donnie opened the floodgates for us. He picked up the phone and he advocated. And as Donnie advocated, so came the other viewers, one after another. One after another started picking up the phone and really learning that advocacy starts with just a phone call. Donnie calling and saying, I need it. This is why my family needs. I needed to improve. And picked up the phone and advocated, and that advocacy worked for Donnie. It wasn't the only advocacy that happened on this channel. Then came other viewers. It happened with other viewers across the board alike. Hurricane Tina picked up the phone and advocated. Sanders' office saying yes, monthly. Caroline picking up the phone and advocating. Sanders' office saying yes, monthly. Lori picking up the phone and advocating. Sanders' office saying yes, monthly. And Yaya picking up the phone and calling Ronald Wyden's office, advocating, and Juan Wyden's office saying yes, monthly. Will took us to another level, showed us that you don't just call one phone number, you call multiple phone numbers. And Will called 3 in one day, Sanders, Warren, and Schumer. And Warren gave Will, after his advocacy, an incredible update that Senator Warren's office wants $1,400 to $2,000, 6 to 12 months. That's consistent with my reporting that they wanted $1,400 a month, couldn't get it, and they couldn't get the 12 months, so they got $1,000 over 6 months. Lorica gave us one of the most fascinating updates, which was over a week ago, that Senator Casey's office said they're negotiating right now and they're near finish. Then I told viewers, go to the House side, because we had the senators, we had Schumer, Coons, Warren, Casey, and others, go to the House side and contact AOC, Jayapal Pelosi, and also Omar. Paul did it. By late Friday, he picked up the phone, called AOC, and they said $1,000 a month after the first month, 6 to 12 months. Then Janice picked up the phone and called Jayapal's office. They said monthly. Then the advocacy took another level. As viewers understood, advocacy starts with the heart, with the emotion, and Margaret brought the emotion, so much so that a staffer on the other side of the phone started breaking down in tears with her. Another viewer saying, I lost everything. I lost my husband. I've had 10 surgeries during the pandemic. I'm raising 2 teenage kids. SSI and SSDI doesn't cut it. And the staffer breaking down in tears with her. Mark, yeah, you met Mark on this channel many times before. He picked up the phone and called Pelosi's office, Speaker Pelosi's office, this last Monday. Her office confirming to Mark they're near finalization on the negotiations, and it will be $1,000 to $2,000. It will be $1,000 a month, 6 to 12 months. But we still did not have Omar, and that is what happened yesterday. I had been advocating for viewers to pick up the phone and call Representative Omar, and viewers started calling. Paul called Omar, and the staffer said, yes, Omar will be $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000 for 6 months. Ida, as separate viewer, separate phone call, got the same confirmation that Omar is doing $1,000 for 6 months after the first month of 2000, and Lynn Glenn, bless her soul, called Jayapal's office and got the same confirmation. And that is what advocacy gets you. advocating, picking up the phone and saying, I want this. We need it. This is what advocacy does. Again, you have made history, Purple Power. You have made history because of this channel, because of this family, because of Purple Power. People said nothing was ever available for you. People told you, don't do it. I turned off the comments. I drowned it out, off the negativity, all the naysayers, and now look what you've been able to achieve. Let's turn to the first 645 pages of that reconciliation budget bill. There's a lot of checks in there, and they're deliciousness. That is the first of 3 clusters of checks I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you cluster number 2 right after, then cluster number 3. But here is the first 645 pages. There's checks for hazard pay, seniors, children, $51,000 of MSC, the home, college students, and also bikes and vehicles. Let's go over hazard pay. Yeah, you recognize hazard pay. This channel was the single biggest place in the planet for advocacy of hazard pay. No less than 300 videos in last year, 500 videos practically, advocate for hazard pay. Well, now it'll be lifetime. They've taken an old tax code called the Earned Income Tax Credit and broadened the eligibility so more people qualify for this. Broadening the eligibility and broadening the payouts. So for every year that you're an essential worker, you would qualify for this hazard pay under the Earned Income Tax Credit. Then money for caring for the elderly. Big surprise from Representative Richard Neal, head of the House Ways and Means Committee. He put this baby in there. It's up to $4,000 a year if you care for an elderly person. Big for care providers. Then up to $4,000 a year if you care for a very young child. More details about that pending. Then how about college students? There's grants in there for you as well. College students, grants directly to the university, to you, or making the Pell's grant tax-free. What about the home? It's in there as well. Grants to repair the home if the home is in a low-income community. And then $51,000 of MSC monthly stimulus checks. This is the CTC, the Child Care Tax Credit. The federal government will provide the following. If you're a parent of a newborn child in a low-income household, you'll get up to $300 a month in that CTC check every month that you qualify for per child. So if that child if you are in that zone of eligibility, you will get up to $300 every month, every year for up to 18 years per child, which is $51,000. Wow. How about money for bikes and vehicles? Yes, up to 15% for an electric bike from the U.S. auto manufacturers. That will be provided from the federal government to you. What about cars and trucks? If they're electric and they're from the U.S. auto manufacturers, yes, the federal government will give you up to $7,500 for the purchase of a new electric vehicle for personal use. A little bit more if the purchase of the vehicles for business use, and a little bit more if it's a truck for business use as well. Wow. That's the first cluster. Coming up in a second, I'll go over the second cluster, which has 12 more checks, and the third cluster, which has additional checks in there as well. But let's take a T-tour for just a second to a big surprise. An additional $13 billion coming out for the federal government to your city, county, and state for rent, utilities under third stimulus. No one saw this coming. We thought all the money was used up. There's a big pot of money. Treasury makes a statement. Treasury is happy to provide the state and local governments with these additional resources to support Americans in need of rental assistance. If you remember this channel, you have the announcement from Treasury in the nightly newsletter. Later in this video, I'll be going over this big cash infusion. It's huge. It's everywhere. It's whether it's a red state or blue state, poor state or rich state. It's coming. I'm going to explain to you how you get it. But let's get some more checks. First, let me go over a little bit more about that first 645 pages. That first 645 pages written by the Democrats, House Democrats, as I told you 3 months ago, would be written by the House, not the Senate Democrats. And these are the first early provisions they agreed to. How do they agree upon? House and Senate Democrats meet on the phone in their offices over a cup of coffee, having a walk in Senate, in subcommittees, saying, what do you think about this provision? I like it. Go write it up. Once they write it up, that was what became the first 645 pages. They're not negotiating on the Senate floor. They're not negotiating on the House floor. They're not negotiating on TV, on C-SPAN, or TikTok. Once they agree upon something, they write it up. For example, what do you think about the 15% on the bike? I like it. Go write it up. What do you think about the home repair? I like it. Go write it up. And these 645 pages of what they liked early on, go write it up. Just 645 pages. The other thousands of pages could be released any moment. Let's go to cluster number 2. Cluster number 2 is a lot of checks, and it's deliciousness. And they're big paying checks. The first one is paid family and medical leave. Paid family leave, your spouse is pregnant. Paid medical leave, your child broke his leg. Then we have checks for childcare tax credits, checks for childcare programs. Then we have checks for weatherizing your home. The second check for your home. This one's for weatherizing your home. Certainly helpful if there's Purple Hawks on the roof. Weatherizing your home is, for example, if you're in a flood zone, a hurricane area, or fire area. Then checks for seniors like dental checks, vision, hearing, Medicare. That's coming up in the third cluster as well. Next comes the education, free community, free pre-kindergarten, and free community college nationwide. This is very helpful, especially with the new, very popular community college class raging the nation called What the Hell is LALATE Saying? I don't understand his accent, 101. Yeah, they talk funny out there in LA. I don't understand the accent. Yeah, if you think my accent's funny, you don't understand my language, you're always using Google Translate to translate me. You can take the college class that is now, the community college class now offered to translate me. And then green energy checks, pardon my French, green energy checks, wow. Now, where's the House and Senate members? They're in session. Yeah, but you know, if you've been a long time viewer of this channel, that in session means nothing. In session means nothing because they negotiate behind closed doors. And those negotiations are near finalizing. We could see the remaining thousands of pages of this bill any moment. Let's cut to cluster number 3. This is where a $107 billion world exclusive is delivered on this channel. And this may have been the big difference. That $107 billion world exclusive in cluster number 3, let's go over all right now. Free school meals for all, checks. Checks for cheaper prescription medication. Checks for greener farming. Checks for free internet. Then checks for clean energy. It checks for workers like independent contractors. Checks for Medicare, like lowering eligibility age for checks. Checks for dental, checks for vision, checks for hearing care. Then that $107 billion surprise. Well, last Friday, in a buried news article, certainly was not on broadcast media, the Senate parliamentarian ruled one of the items, one of the checks in cluster number 3 cannot be there. I don't cover it because it's a check for the judiciary, not a check for you. Well, once it was ruled cannot be in there, I went back through my old notes. No one keeps notes like I do. And I found it. It's $107 billion. Wow. That means that $107 billion that was supposed to go to judiciary is going to you. They're going to reallocate that funds to some of these other items for you. Huge news. 2 of the checks in this, the president particularly likes, I love them because they're automatic, instant savings. The first one, cheaper prescription medication. So for example, let's say you go to the pharmacy on Monday and you take 2 $20 bills out of your wallet to pay for a prescription medication. This becomes law. Then the next week when you go to refill, you may take only a $20 bill out. Then finally, they're going to give money to city, counties, states that can run free internet companies for you. The city, county, and state will have free internet companies. Hopefully, it'll be called T-Mubu. Sirloin's invention, T-Mubu. All you have to do is call up and ask what the Wi-Fi connection is, the username and password. It's Scarf 911. It's not Blaine 66. It's Scarf 911. There you go. I can't believe I said that. And there you go. Coming up in the second half of this video, we have so much coming up. The debt ceiling limit will be covered. A lot of people said that it's a very helpful part of the video, so I'm bringing it back a little bit more. It was not as much on Afternoons LA today. And then I'll be going over more about this world exclusive about the insertion of the MSC IRS stimulus check. We'll be going over the third stimulus and a little bit over the fifth stimulus. Boy, it's a big evening. We got still a lot coming up. A lot of exciting details. Stay with me. I'll be back with you in 60 seconds. If you want money right now, not 5 days from now, and not 5 weeks from now, then reach out to the community page. The volunteers can help you find that money for rent and utilities. That's at news.la.com/community. The community page features a series of volunteers who are viewers like you. They can help you find rent, utilities, SNAP, food benefits, mortgage assistance, and help you with eviction moratorium questions as well. Their Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram individuals reach out to them and indicate the city and state you're from, and they'll get back to you shortly. That's a community page. Volunteers working for you, viewers helping one another. Stay with LA for more. Join LALATE Daily for the excitement of the new LALATE live daily. The excitement starts on mornings LALATE at 9 a.m. Home LALATE returns at 11 a.m. daily. and then afternoons LALATE at 1 p.m. Join us daily as the excitement continues live from Santa Monica on LALATE. And the excitement continues right from Santa Monica as evenings LA heats up. Boy, it is a big night. I'll have more about that world exclusive delivered 24 hours ago on LA, the news site, as staffers from both Senate and House members say negotiations near complete on the inclusion of a monthly stimulus check provision in the recon that'll pay $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000 running for 6 months for 18-year-old and olders. I'll go over more about what Omar staff has told viewers this channel and Pelosi in the last 48 hours. But we'll be cutting also to the debt ceiling limit. I'll be covering a little bit more about that tonight than I did on Afternoons LA. People say it's very, very helpful, so I'll go over a bit more about it as well. Then we'll be cutting over to fifth stimulus for just a blink of an eye or blink of a wave. Oh, is a crashing coming here? Yeah, don't wipe out. He doesn't wipe out, actually. It's pretty amazing. Then we'll be cutting over to third stimulus. This one wipes out. This one wipes out. There he goes. Bam. Sorry. I guess there he goes. He crashed. He sort of crashed like a troll. No, but I did. He's a nice surfer. So there you go. Subscribe. 4,000 subscribers to YouTube record. I want you part of this family so you surf better. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Boy, we got a big night coming up. Coming up after this is Overnight's Crypto. Then we got shows at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and 11:30. I want you part of this incredible family, the family that makes history. So subscribe. Let's cut right now to the big surprise that no one saw coming. As third stimulus, it has an additional cash infusion. Where did this come from? Well, third stimulus got an additional $13 billion for rent and utilities from the federal government Treasury last week. That last week is two key words. I'm going to show you in a second. I'm going to show you how to get this big money. But first, let's go over how much people are getting for this money. The rent, utilities, and SNAP have either doubled, tripled, or gone up 400% in a month. Because the viewers of this channel, the members, are getting big sums of money. If you haven't become a member, the link's under the video. Let's look and see how big the numbers have now grown. We got inspiration from Mark, who got $51,000, and Lorraine, who got over $100,000 from this channel in the last few weeks. But boy, these numbers are going up a lot. Let's look at the number for rent. We're now seeing viewers getting over $40,000 for rent. It was a month ago that Nisi got $20,000. Late last week, Jen got nearly $40,000 for rent. Several of you got over $35,000. Utilities, viewers are getting $15,000, like Mark's brother-in-law. That's a 300% increase. And then SNAP has grown to $21,000. That's Mark's brother-in-law. I'm going to go over more about those details in a second, but get a pen, paper, and cell phone ready because I'm going to show you how to get these big sums of money. First, I'm going to show you 6 places to reach out to. Reach out to all 6 places. Second, listen to the keywords I say in this video. Helps get people approved. And number 3, get ready for those nonprofits. All right, here we go. These are the 6 places you reach out to. Your city hall, your city house authority. Your county hall, your county house authority. Your state hall, and your state house authority. And the keywords you're going to say are rent assistance because of COVID. Mortgage utility assistance because of COVID. There you go. Let's go over the 6 places again. City hall, city house authority. County hall, county house authority. State hall, state house authority. All this is detailed in the newsletter for members every night. Now, here's the big part of the equation. If you have reached out to all 6 before and they said they're out of money, I want you to read the Treasury statement that is in the newsletter. That Treasury statement explains what this additional cash infusion is. So when you call up, I want you to ask them about it. They may say, we don't have it yet, ma'am. I don't know about it yet. Can I be on the waiting list? We don't have a waiting list. Can I call you tomorrow? Because you're definitely going to get it. Remember, every city, county, and state, whether red, blue, rich, or poor, they're all going to get this money. But it won't be around forever. I want you to pounce as a purple hawk. Next, the utility companies. I want you to reach out to all 5 utility companies, all of them. Utility assistance because of COVID. Finally, the nonprofits. The nonprofits are doing God's work. I had recorded nearly 300, 500 videos about the nonprofits in a popular show called Purple in fall 2020 and early 2021. I did not know if the nonprofits were still paying, so I brought them back in the mix on this channel, started covering them about a week ago. Oh boy, are they paying. Number one viewer wants me to tell you that St. Vincent de Paul has their own rent program set up. It's beautiful and it's very easy to go through. Another viewer wants you to know that within 24 hours of me recording the first video about the nonprofits a week ago, that viewer got money from United Way overnight for rent. Another viewer wants you to know that that nonprofit, which I'm not going to mention, paid money for a refrigerator, a furnace, and also a window. Everything is different in different parts of the country. So here are the 5 nonprofits: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. What's important to understand is that the nonprofits are not the federal government, so they do things differently. The eligibility is different. You don't have to be necessarily behind on anything. And they pay for different things. They pay for homelessness into shelter. Sometimes they pay for food, clothing, sometimes an appliance, or the window is leaking because of the rain. They'll do unusual things. They're all quite different. Again, here are the 5 nonprofits featured on the newsletter every night for members: United Way, Salvation Army, Community Action, Catholic Charities, St. Vincent de Paul. How about money for SNAP? SNAP is huge. You get it from Department of Agriculture. Reach out to them. It's money for food. Mark's brother-in-law is getting up to $21,000 currently, but is sitting on top of $26,000 lifetime annually because of this channel. Why? Department of Agriculture is raising everyone's benefits up an average of 25% a lifetime starting in October. This has caused a lot of confusion. I'll tell you why. Because there's a letter going out that says the prior raise is ending. Of course it's ending. It's ending in September. The one that was from 2 executive orders. But the letter only references that one. It doesn't reference what's happening in October. There's a second letter coming. I know it's confusing, but there's a second letter coming saying, hi, by the way, you're now getting a raise. Why can't they just send it all as one letter? I don't understand why. And it's causing some confusion. Now, the unemployment benefits, yes. If you got, you'll be getting refund check back from your state if you're overpaid due to computer error from unemployment benefits. Average payment is $2,000 to $5,000. Reach out to state for that amount of money or for tracking. And then the refund check from IRS that you paid taxes on the 2020 unemployment benefits. Those checks are coming out. Average payment is $1,000 to $2,000. Margaret got it, Michael got it. You can do an IRS tracking tool 70% of the time it works to see where it's landing. Finally, if you've not become a Purple Hawk member, Purple Power Casino VIP, please do. The link is under the video. It's important to understand that every night I send out to members only a link, a newsletter that delineates, breaks down the first, second, and third stimulus money you can get. Mark got $50,000. His 2 friends got over $40,000. Johnny got $80,000. His 2 family members got over $100,000 combined. Lorraine got $100,000. People are getting massive sums of money on this channel every single day because the newsletter breaks it down. It now includes the nonprofits, and it also now includes the Treasury statement. It also details what's prepared for 4th stimulus, some of the items, and what's prepared for 5th stimulus. Consider becoming a member today. The link is under the video. And with that, we go into the final 15 minutes of this video, starting right now, as we go over the big, exciting details of that World Exclusive. The World Exclusive delivered on LALATE News, the website last night, left us as the following: that the Democratic senators and Democratic House members separately tell viewers of this channel that negotiations are near complete on the inclusion of a stimulus check provision, IRS, that would pay monthly stimulus checks that would run $1,000 a month after the first month of $2,000 that would run for 6 months. The World Exclusive also detailed the following elements. Number 1, that it's a check for 18-year-olds or older. If your newborn is 17, you're getting that CTC check, child care tax credit, of $3,600 detailed early in this video. Then Pelosi was one of the big negotiators for this. She was in the negotiation room as Dragon, Paul, and several viewers got, and Mark also got confirmation of, that Pelosi had asked for $1,400 per month after the first month. Couldn't get enough Democrats on board for it, even though Warren and a lot of people wanted that. She wanted for 12 months. That was the hard stretch. No one thought 12 months was really going to happen. 6 months. Not because they don't want to give it to you, just because there wasn't enough funds. This is why Bernie asked for $7 trillion, but got $3.5 trillion. And that's not to say this is over after 6 months. This is where we are right now with this particular bill. Let's understand how we got here. It was earlier this year when I was on camera and I made the very first recording anywhere on the planet with the title 4th Stimulus. I started making videos about 4th Stimulus when people were still talking about other things. And I said, listen, the next package from the president has checks in there for assistance for Americans. People said, no, it's only about roads and bridges. And I said, no, it's also about other things. Once the roads and bridges was removed and Mitch McConnell said, it's just a lot of progressive checks, we got our ammunition, because then suddenly the naysayer of all of them, Mitch McConnell, has said, yeah, it's checks for the American people. Thank you, Mitch. That helped us focus. But as time went on, people still tried to tell you, don't push. People tried to tell you there was nothing in there. This channel was the channel that made history in last year, where I came up with the idea of putting a stimulus check into a continuing resolution. We got it done, and it became the $600 stimulus check for the second stimulus package. This channel was the channel that stayed on point, saying that these Democrats had written a bill for the inclusion of a stimulus check in the fourth stimulus recon. They had written letters over and over again that they're going to include the stimulus check, that there was no denial from the president. The president said, no, don't do it. So they said, hi, I'm doing it. He didn't come back and say, no, I don't do it. So I said, you guys stay on point. I also showed the importance of advocacy. Advocacy started no less than 8 weeks ago, where I said, pick up the phone and call. Not a lot of people did. A lot of people wanted to talk about negativity. That's when I said focus, and WR did. He picked up the phone and called Senator Chris Coons, Democrat, Delaware, Joe Biden's old confidant, advocated for a stimulus check, and that staffer said yes. Senator Chris Coons is doing a monthly stimulus check. And that was world history in the making right then. I delivered that world exclusive right on this channel. But some people still said, well, it's just Chris Coons. It's just one congressional leader. 3 weeks ago, things changed. When I showed viewers my world exclusive reporting that the House Democrats on the House Budget Committee would be writing the budget bill. Of course, we now know that's correct, because the 645 pages were written by House Democrats. But that Bernie Sanders was an important part of the equation. Why? Because he specifically had said he got you the $3.5 trillion. He was in the negotiations rooms to get the reconciliation procedural passed. I educated viewers what that reconciliation procedural versus substantive meant. He got the $3.5 trillion. He also, as chairman of the Budget Committee, is pivotal because he made a critical, important quote 3 weeks ago, that unlike prior budget chairmen on the Senate side, I like to get out amongst the people when I'm writing the budget bill. I said that means he wants to hear from you. I said pick up the phone and advocate for a stimulus check. And advocacy was done by Margaret, Lynn Glenn, and brother Joshua. What does advocacy look like? A lot of people had never seen advocacy till they found me. And I show people what advocacy looks like. I'm so deeply proud of all of you, and especially two people who really brought advocacy to another level this week. Margaret, picked up the phone and called a staffer and pled out her story. So much so that Margaret broke down in tears, and so did the staffer. Another viewer whose identity I'm withholding for privacy concerns picked up the phone and advocated and said, listen, I lost my husband during the pandemic. I had 10 surgeries during the pandemic. I'm on SSI and SSDI. I'm raising 2 teenage daughters in the pandemic. It ain't going to cut it. I need this relief. And broke down and cried. And that's what brother Joshua did. He advocated for Bernie Sanders' office, saying this is what I need. My family needs it. My church needs it. And Sanders' office said yes. $1,000 or $1,400, 3 to 6 months, but needs your support. I delivered that world exclusive, and yet, even at that time, when Bernie Sanders says, I need to hear your support, guess what? There were naysayers ready. It's just Bernie again. Never going to happen. It's just Bernie. Don't pick up the phone. Don't call Bernie. Don't support him. Don't do anything. It's at that time I immediately went click. Turn off all comments on this channel, because these aren't people that really want you to succeed in life. These are people that want to kick you down. These are very, very sad people that tell you don't support Bernie Sanders when he's asking for your support. When he wants to hear your situation, these were people saying, don't tell your situation. You're never going to get anything. And then sort of laughing at you and mocking you. Comments went off on this channel. And that's when we started soaring for the sky, Purple Hawks. The absolute skyrocketing of traffic and the skyrocketing of advocacy took off. And it started with Donnie, who picked up the phone and called Bernie Sanders' office and said, listen, I need it. I absolutely need it. He learned from me about what advocacy is, and he picked up the phone and said, this is what I need. My city needs it. I need it. My family needs it. I need it to progress. I need it for my water bill, for God's sakes. And Sanders' office saying, yes, stimulus check monthly. Then we had countless other viewers who have endured so much, like Hurricane Tina, just a wonderful viewer. She's endured so much, and she picked up the phone and called Bernie Sanders' office, advocated for it, and they said, yes, monthly stimulus check. We had Caroline, who absolutely did incredible advocacy, said, people are losing their homes. They're losing everything they got. They're losing everything they got. I need to tell you, Senator Sanders' office, why we need it. And Sanders' office saying, yes, they're doing a stimulus check. Then Lori advocating vigorously, saying, on behalf of Purple Power, on behalf of LALATE, I got to tell you why we need it. Yaya, who has endured so much, advocated to Ron Wyden's office. He had already said he was doing it, monthly stimulus check. And he said, his staff said yes, and they'll do SS200. But Will showed us that advocacy doesn't stop with one phone call. Advocacy is as much as you can do it. And he picked up the phone and called 3 offices. That was the first viewer we saw that called multiple offices in one day. Schumer, Sanders, and Warren. And Warren said, her staff, Elizabeth Warren's staffers said in that conversation that she wants $1,400 to $2,000 over 6 to 12 months. That is where it took it to another level. Of course, that is what Pelosi wanted. LA News site reported yesterday, but couldn't get that $1,400 and couldn't get that 12 months. Certainly could get $1,000. It was at that point that we had the senators all saying they're doing it. Lorica was one of the most important comments in the mix, because this came in a week ago, where she said Casey will do it, is doing it, and they're negotiating the provisions right now. At that point, we had Casey, Coons, Sanders, Warren, and Schumer all confirming to separate viewers in separate phone calls that they're doing monthly stimulus checks. I said, time for the House. AOC, Omar, Jayalapal, Pelosi need to hear from you. And the calls started with some of you by the end of last Friday. Paul picked up the phone last Friday and called AOC's office and advocated for that stimulus check. And that advocacy involved the result of this, that AOC's office saying they're doing $1,000 a month after the first month of 2006 to 12 months. Janice heard me and she called Jayalapal's office, and Jayalapal's office late Friday confirming to Janice that she's doing monthly stimulus checks. Then Mark, yes, $51,000 Mark, calling Pelosi's office this last Monday, and Pelosi's office confirming that negotiations are near complete on the inclusion of a provision that would be $1,000 a month after the first month, running 6 to 12 months. It was at that point I said, you need to go to Omar and be heard with Omar. That's the last ingredient. And Ida, overnight, calling up Omar's office, and Omar's office confirming 6 months, $1,000 per month after the first month of 2000, and Paul getting the exact same confirmation. And then Lynn Glenn doing the same and getting the same confirmation with Jayalapal. It's important to understand that some people just want to keep you down. Even today, you're not going to see it here. I'm getting the messages offline and social media and strange places. People love to keep other people down. Not our place. This channel is making history again. First channel, any place, any person to ever mention forced stimulus was me. Only person to really cover every single time a Democratic senator or House member said they would give a stimulus check to you, forced stimulus check, me. Going through all the items that you qualify for and then showing you what advocacy means was here. And then you did it. You absolutely did it. You need to keep on pushing down to the last second. Call Omar's office, advocate for that stimulus check. Call Jayalapal, call Pelosi, advocate for that stimulus check. Let's go over to the debt ceiling limit. Debt ceiling limit is a very confusing instrument, and viewers say that I've been able to explain it to them very simply and do a good job of it. But I didn't do it that much on afternoons. I like so doing it now. What is the debt ceiling limit? The debt ceiling limit is a thing that they have to do every few months so that they can pay for existing laws. Why did I do this? Existing laws. What naysayers and even Mitch McConnell want to tell you is that the debt ceiling limit is to pay for forced stimulus. No, it's not a law. The debt ceiling limit is to pay for the existing laws, the things that are already on the books from Trump and Biden, not for stuff that hasn't been even finished writing yet. That's not what debt ceiling limit is. Number two, debt ceiling limit has nothing to do with your forced stimulus recon. It has nothing to do with fiscal stimulus recon. Second, debt ceiling limit has nothing to do with your time schedule or your work schedule. Why? Nancy Pelosi was very quick to get her bill about the debt ceiling limit out of the House and into the Senate yesterday. So that the House members, their tables are clear. They're working on the recon now. They're not working on the debt ceiling limit anymore. That's not, and the senators don't write anything about this either. Number three, the debt ceiling limit, I've covered 3 times on this channel over the last year and a half, and I know the questions that come in. They're important questions, and I have the important answers for you right now. Will any of, let me just say the statement. If you're on benefits, if you're on Social Security, if you're an active member of the armed services or a veteran, if you get any type of check from the federal government, let's say you're a federal employee, any type of check from the federal government on a daily basis, weekly basis, monthly basis, that check currently will come on time. Do not worry. The debt ceiling limit the date is often missed by a few days. It means nothing to you and your checks. It only impacts the delivery of your checks if we're still talking about this way past Thanksgiving, almost right near Christmas. If it's going on 2 months past the deadline and they don't have a deal, then it may be an issue then. It's not an issue when it's a few days late. They were a few days late on 2020 when I was recording. They were a few days late, I believe, in 2021. They're always a few days late. If they're a few weeks late, it's fine for you as well. Finally, let's go to FIS stimulus. FIS stimulus raises your benefits up if you're on SSI, SSDI, Social Security, railroad benefits, veterans benefits. FIS stimulus starts by removing the asset cap, removing the income cap, and removing the marriage penalty. Then they apply a new benchmark. The new benchmark is inflation. So when inflation goes up, which it is, it's going to be transitory. Then you'll get another step up, not just next year, but lifetime. For example, if the inflation rate is 5%, you'll go up at 5%, not just next year, lifetime. Let's cut back and recap everything that's happened in this recording because it's a big night and there's a lot happening. Third stimulus, fifth stimulus, fourth stimulus. Third stimulus, still paying out lots of money, including money for rent utilities. Contact them ASAP. If you've got money before from this channel, like a Nisi, like an Art Sullivan, like a Mark, go get more money as far as you can take it into next year. You can get money from different sources, by the way. Number 2, reach out to the nonprofits. Remember, the nonprofits pay for things that the federal government does, and they do it with different eligibility. They're totally different. They're very quick at the moment, apparently. People are telling me they're getting approved within 48 hours, so they're getting big, quick turnaround times. All those are detailed for the members in the newsletter every night. Fifth stimulus, not law yet, not bill yet, going for a vote later this year. Fourth stimulus. We have the recon, the final thousands of pages to be released, could be released by Friday. Could be released this weekend. We're going to have a big weekend. I know we're going to have one. I hope you stay with me as well. We're going to have a big weekend with a lot of coverage because when this bill is released, a lot's happening. The first 645 pages, checks of all kind. The second cluster and third cluster still to be written. It'll be written. And meantime, the push still underway. The insertion of that provision for that monthly IRS stimulus check near finalization of negotiations that look like it's going to be $1,000 a month after the first month, the sixth of $2,000 running 6 months. But you need to advocate down to the very last wire, down to the very last minute. You need to pick up the phone and advocate. Contact Omar, contact AOC, contact Pelosi. That advocacy works. I want you to do it. Meantime, join me next on Overnight's LALATE, Overnight's Crypto. Then I have shows tonight at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 11 o'clock. New crypto shows come back tomorrow. Sorry for the inability to record those crypto shows over the last 48 hours. And with that, I want you part of this incredible family. So subscribe. 400,000 subscribers on YouTube record. Be part of this incredible family. Hit that subscribe button right now. Like the video, 2,000 to 3,000 likes, and consider becoming a member. Purple Hawk, Purple Power, Casino VIP. Stay informed, stay focused, and have a beautiful evening, and stay with LA for more.